4 years ago you would have told me that I would be sitting here filming this video, I would have thought that you were crazy. But today I want to speak about the 5 benefits of living on an island as a mum. What? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you're new here, my name is Alma. I am a mum of 2 under 2 and I live in Orkney. And on this business we talk all things motherhood and business and how we can have the best of both worlds without facing burnout. I moved to Orkney in, I want to say 2020. It was just after Corona hit. So yeah, I moved to Orkney and I moved here for 6 months and ended up falling in love with farm life, working on a farm and working with sheep. Like I grew up in a city, but I fell in love with it. So I stayed working there for a while. My brother was here as well, and then I got an opportunity to take on some work on the mainland of Orkney. So I moved over to the mainland. Going back, I moved to Hoy. It's a small island just off Orkney, off the mainland of Orkney. So I moved over to the mainland and my brother actually moved back to Latvia, so I was here on my own. I started working 2 jobs, but I still quite enjoyed it. But I actually, at this point, I was determined that I was actually going to go back to Liverpool at the end of the year. So this was, I want to say this was 2022. So my goal was to work really hard, save loads of money, and then go to Liverpool at the end of the year. And then I was actually going to do seasonal lambing jobs, kind of traveling around the UK. That was the plan, that was the dream. Anyway, fast forward to the end of the year, I met my partner and ended up falling pregnant very soon after, or whatever. Anyway, so now that I'm actually a mum and I'm still in Orkney, I have realised that being here is actually really beneficial when you're a mum. And I want to say that if you are a mum that is dreaming of a slower, more intentional life, then island life might definitely be for you. So I want to share five reasons why I think this. So number 1 is the slower pace of life. I love how slow life can be here. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could go into hustle culture, you can go into the hustle and bustle of things, but even the most fast-paced lifestyle on this island seems so slow compared to living in a really busy city like Liverpool. So I definitely really like that, especially with choosing to homeschool and not like putting Loki to nursery and everything. Just the really nice, slow, intentional life that we are able to lead here is really beautiful. It truly is. Now, if you are a social butterfly, which I am definitely not, but I am trying to be this year. One of my goals this year is to get out of the house and get to know people. Even though I have been here for 4 years, I don't really have a social group here. It's quite sad, but this year we're changing that. But in saying that, if you are a social butterfly and you like social events and you like being part of a community, the community aspect of living on an island is so beautiful. Everybody knows everybody. Every single person knows every single person, and there is just such like a tight-knit community aspect of this. I think definitely since COVID hit, there was a lot of people moved here because of, the benefits of being on an island when COVID was like going rampant and ruining everyone's lives. I think like moving to a smaller place where, things weren't quite as tightly locked down and things like that was definitely had its benefits. Anyways, if you're a social butterfly, then definitely the community aspect of a place like this is wonderful, because the chances are, if you like go to different workout groups or toddler groups or whatever, you're gonna see the same people in multiple places, and inevitably you're probably going to form some sort of relationship with those people because you're going to see them so often. So Definitely the community aspect of living on an island is a massive benefit if you are a social person. Number 3 is connection to nature. I am a forest girly at heart, so this one is a painful topic for me because, as you can imagine, Orkney has no forests. I mean, we have a couple, but they're not exactly like, you know, forests. They're not like a forest that you can go for a 5-hour walk in or like whatever, but there is still so much beautiful nature here. There's beautiful cliffs and there's beautiful beaches and there's beautiful just like landscapes. There's so many places to get out and get into nature and just connect with nature, and yeah, there's just so much like outdoor space here. It's absolutely incredible. Like, you drive 5 minutes out of the city and there's just nothing around you. There's just fields and fields and fields and sheep and cows, and it's just so beautiful, so incredible, so natural. And I love that I get to raise my kids here so that they see nature for what it is. Now, number 4 is lower costs and simplicity. And hear me out here, because you're going to be thinking like, what are you on about? Because a one-way ticket off this island costs about £200, and a weekly shop is about twice as expensive as living in a city. But hear me out, Amazon. Amazon and any other places that deliver. I don't know, for me personally, Amazon was really convenient when I lived in Liverpool, because I could literally like get same day delivery on things. Here, I have to wait. And sometimes when I have like that spur of the moment feeling of, oh my god, I want to buy this, when I look at the fact that it's going to be delivered in like a week, I'm like, it's not as convenient, it's not as interesting. If I can't buy it in the shop, then the chances are I'm not going to order it online. I mean, there is definitely a lot of things that I do order online that we can't get here. But yeah, they're not like, I'm not spending money on crap that I don't need. It's things that I'm like actually intentional about going online and looking for them and ordering them, knowing that it's probably going to take some time to get here, especially with like bigger items, because a lot of the time they actually have to like go to a depot down in Aberdeen, and they normally sit there for like a week or two, and then they come up here, and then we have like crappy weather, and if the weather's crappy we don't get posts and blah blah blah. So I don't tend to actually order as much. So definitely saving money when it comes to like ordering things off Amazon, or yeah, just in general ordering things online. I just don't find that I am doing it as much. I mean, other people might be the complete opposite and like constantly order things, but I personally find that I don't order as much online. And finally, business freedom. Like, I love that I get to build this business here, because I don't think that if I was living in a city I would actually be doing this, purely because when you live in a city, it's more about like the hustle culture and the hustle and bustle of life. And for me personally, I probably would have gone into some sort of corporate job and just not allowed myself to have the space to do this. I probably would have sent my kids to daycare and gone back to work and done things that way, which is kind of like what you see everyone else doing, so you kind of follow the crowd, if that makes sense. But when you're in a place that you can kind of live more intentionally and slowly and think about what you actually want from your life, you get to think about your values and your beliefs and actually, you know, practice those things. Because I know for a fact that like when I lived in the city, there was a lot of things that I didn't agree with. There was a lot of my own values that I pushed to the back to kind of conform to where I was living, the situation that I was in, the jobs that I was working at, and the people that I was surrounded by. But when you are in a place like this where you can be a lot more intentional, I think it's a lot easier to really kind of stick with your values and your beliefs and do things the way that you actually want to do them. So anyway guys, that's my 5 cents for today, and that's why I think that living in Orkney is actually not that bad when you're a mum. So if you enjoyed this video, then YouTube thinks that you would like this one too. If not, then I will see you guys in 2 days.